Hello YouTube and welcome to GrunfWorks Plays KSP. This is episode 46 of our Interplanetary Voyage. And just right, we have successfully executed our first jump. We are doing something completely different, of course. And before our test probe, leaves the Kerbal sphere of influence and stuff, I feel confident that it has done its job. So we will terminate its mission. Yes. Because, and also a Voyager, well, that was a rather unsuccessful launch, so I really wanted to terminate these two because frankly they are just burdening up my CPU load and everything calculated there. So now we are coming back to Duna because our Duna to Kerbal transfer window is coming closer. So we really want to get our guys off and make sure that we can actually get them back to Kerbal. With that being said, we want to use the warp rescue lander. However, we won't be using the warp because I don't feel confident enough that I'll have enough delta V to circularize. So instead we will just be using regular fuel, and by regular I do mean carborundum, which we have very little of, but with the Craft's ISP it should be more than enough to get us to, So I thought I would initially freeze Chuck Kerman, who was already in the freeze box, but then I realized, okay, let me just quickly check. And I was thinking transferring Ikrit Kerman to the freeze box, but then I realized, hold on, they have just freshly arrived. Well, by freshly I mean like not so long ago. So I'm doing this as a post commentary, and clearly when I just put Ikrit I figured, I might as well, freeze Ikrit, which I did. And then I realized, oh, wait a second, I have here scientists that have been scooped up here forever, and I think it's time that we give them actually a hero's welcome back. So I'm thinking rather than that, we could actually take Wilhuff Tarkin, whose original mission was to go to the base. But instead, since the landing was goofed, he will actually go and he will be replacing some of the engineers that are currently here in the station. So, Wilhuff Tarkin, we have a mission for you yet. I didn't want to just send you back, so I think we will be replacing Moomin here. Because Moomin has been around here forever, and Moomin is a scientist, so actually Chuck won't be replacing it, but Chuck will be assisting Ikrit, who will be replacing Moomin. So, with that being said, let's move Moomin to the now freshly tested cabin. Okay. Let's just get in here. Right. Yeah, to be honest, I'm trying to, film as we go, so they didn't have really a plan, but I'm thinking that this would be some sort of emergent plan going on, and this is Ikrit going to replace Moomin. Right, so we have Ikrit in place, and we have now Moomin, whom I want to be putting on... Oops, sorry about that. Whom I want to be putting Kerbal as a Kerbal popsicle. Right, so let's disconnect and we will be on our merry way. Okay. Turning ever so carefully. Oh, and this is a beautiful shot. I think I'll actually keep this as a screenshot for the episode. Look at this. Right there. Yes. Definitely a screenshot for the episode. Let's just tone down the colors and yeah, screenshotted. Awesome. Okay, let's just hit a little bit time acceleration. Right, oh, and look, a dark spot. It's actually an eclipse, I believe, caused by, yes, caused by Ike. As we are waiting for our transfer window, I just wanted to get far enough from the station so that my frame rate doesn't suffer. Great, and now the next thing to do is actually I just want to circularize it 105 by 105. The moment we arrive at the apoapsis, which should be in 55 seconds. Alright, time accelerating until the Duna to Kerbin transfer window. I thought it would be much more convenient to accelerate here rather than, you know. Okay, right. Now, we are back at our craft and we have the Duna to Kerbin transfer window in only 2 hours. So we might as well plan the maneuver node. Now let's just quickly see what's our angle to prograde. Okay, so the line is above, meaning that we should add a maneuver somewhere around here. Okay, great. Okay, total 1,700 and something. We want to have 1,832 meters per second, so we should have just enough. And I do not plan to use all of it because I do plan to also aero brake to a degree. Because don't forget we have the volutes, so we can actually aero brake in the upper atmosphere to a degree. So yes. Okay, a little bit of fiddling. Okay, focus on Kerbin. By the way, this transfer window planner is an excellent tool, really helps you get the transfers right and everything that... Okay, a little bit tweaking the approach. I do want to come on the same inclination as all the other planets, basically, or not all the other, but at least Moon and my satellites, so that I know that I'm coming equatorially, and then we will be like aero braking, and then we will be descending somewhere. Whether or not we will have a chance to land exactly at the KSC, well, I think safe to say, given our safety margins, it's a long shot, but you never know. Pointing us to the maneuver node, which is supposed to happen in 36 minutes and 58 seconds, roughly. And given that Hallery is a 5-star pilot, I will be making sure that he keeps his nose pointed towards the maneuver node. It will be a little bit longer burn, well, longer, I mean 92 seconds, so it's not too long. Given that my transfer burns used to take up to 45 minutes, well, you know. Okay. Let's do the burn. I really like the fact that you can just move the UI away and just enjoy the sight. This is a rather small lander, but I think it has tremendous amount of delta V and it's did its mission perfectly so far. So the only last bit remaining is getting our kerbonauts safely back on the surface of Kerbal, which I hope will happen eventually. Right. $150 meters per second to burn. Let's just take this view so that I can tweak the approach if needed. Ooh, that was fast. Okay, tweaking it a little bit. I think that's the wrong way. Come on. Yep, that's the wrong way, alright. Oh, that's even more wrong way. Well, let's use the remaining RCS just to position ourselves correctly, shall we? See, much better now, much better. Okay, there we go. Hopefully some other direction, maybe. I mean, I can always tweak it when we come closer, so it's not really a big deal. Well, you know what? Let us just swap the perspective and enjoy our departure from Duna. We have Wilhuff Tarkin and 2 popsicles. Hopefully. Bye-bye, Duna, and, well, thanks for the fish. I have no idea what fish, though. Well, our kind of initial mission was rather fishy, but beautiful screenshot. I have to remember to take some extra screenshots given how they look. I mean, they're just amazing. Some of them would even make a nice desktop wallpapers, you know. Beautiful sight when leaving Duna. And we also see Ike orbiting Duna. Okay, we are transitioning the sphere of influence. Yes, we have a 15-minute warning, which means we should be leaving shortly. So let me just switch perspective. Right. And I'm just gonna cue the maneuver node that will hopefully align us better. And that's supposed to happen in 217 days, and that should align us nicely with Kerbal. And it's only 7 meters per second. giving us plenty of delta V to, you know, slow down, and maybe we won't even need to aero brake. It's also a thought. Okay, so let us accelerate. We have 6 days until Kerbal to Jool transfer window. And we are coming up on the time that where we would be launching the big kahuna, and that one being our Jool base deployer SSTO, or actually lathe deployer. But first we need to launch the utility craft. And that's this one. And we have Bill here. So we want to take Bill because Bill needs to go to the Carborundrum rover, because the Carborundrum rover needs to refuel the Jool SSTO with the Carborundrum that Valentina and our other 2 Kerbals have given their lives for in order to collect it. So they went to the orbit in our unfortunate SSTO mission, Seth, and although they lost their lives, they have successfully retrieved 2 full 2.5 meter tanks of Carborundrum fuel, which will be much needed by our Laythe Base deployer. Right, so, and there goes Bill on his utility rover. We have a total of 2 tankers, and the older one, which has a very limited supply of electric charge, is actually the one that we will be using here. So we'll use that one, we will refuel the SSTO, and then we will recover it, because we don't want to use it anymore because it has such a limited amount of electricity that it's actually very hard to move it. Yes, okay. Good. Come on, Bill. Right, we parked? We are. Great. Let's leave the seat. Okay, Billy boy, let's check if we have everything we need in our inventory. Okay, screwdriver, yeah, we have everything. Okay, great. Then we will make sure you board the Mark 1 Carborundrum tanker rover. That would be you, Sunshine. Okay, great. Now, let's launch our SSTO and let's select who will be flying it. I mean, it's a great honor because, well, it's a big craft and it will mark a hallmark, hopefully, in the Kerbal history of first Kerbal ever touching down on Laythe. So, the pilot for today will be Dangard Kerman, followed by, I believe, shall we take Hanson here? Well, hands-on or Luzor, but I would prefer not to take Luzor. Then we want an engineer, and I think I'm gonna take Alessandro Kerman as an engineer. And then we want a scientist, so we will be taking Dixon Kerman, and so that's a crew of 4. I think we could fit in one more because we have 2 aeroponics labs, so which will leave a crew of 3. So pilot, engineer, and scientist. I think I'm gonna add one more scientist. And I am running out of Kerbals. Jeez. Shedard Kerman. Yeah, you will be the final scientist. So, let's launch the vessel. Okay, that being said, let us start deploying the wheels, and Bill, you need to go and refuel our Laythe SSTO. which we decided to codename BAST, according to the Egyptian deity, like the protector of families, and I think somewhere it was written it was like a good mother or something. So I'm hoping that the BAST will be a good mother SSTO to the rest of our Kerbals and deploy them safely on the surface of Laythe, unlike, our previous landing experiments. Although they went successfully, landing gear didn't break this time as it did on the Seth. However, you can never be too careful, and soon enough you will see this monstrosity. You've seen it already once, you've peeked at it when we were doing the landing tests in 2 episodes ago roughly, but I figured we need to actually refuel it first because it doesn't have any carborundrum, and we need carborundrum in order to successfully take off and to, fly. It's kind of its primary stellar propulsion drive. Other than that, we only have air-breathing engines, and I think it's okay because Laythe has an breathable atmosphere, so that means we can safely go. And I'm showing all of this in 4 times acceleration, then you can imagine how slow everything was for me. However, yes, we are coming up on the Laythe SSTO, and it's a beautiful ship. I can tell you that much. I assume in the next episode we will be launching it, and followed by the episode of Kerbal Engineering, where I will show you how to build this beast. Note, it is a very long episode of Kerbal Engineering. It took me 40 hours to make, and 2 hours, I think it lasted for an hour and a half, or nearly 2 hours. So brace yourselves, it's gonna be a long one. Okay, here you can see the craft. We have the brakes deployed, and I'm trying to brake now as heavily as I can. Given the finite amount of electric charge, this is just horrendous. Just as you're watching this, keep telling yourselves, this is all 4 times time accelerated. Yes. Okay. Right, please, come on, please. You can do it. You can do it. Okay. I don't want to give you insinuation as about what I might be doing over here. So, no worries. Anyways, let's see. Carborundrum rover. I'm trying to come as close to the refueling port, which is on the landing gear here, and align ourselves. Great. Perfect. Park. Deploy the stilts, deploy away the gear. Perfect. Last time when I was trying to do refueling, it was wobbling willy-nilly, so... And I think we were refueling I think it was the Eye of Ra or Anubis. I'm not sure exactly which one. But our SSTO that went to Laythe anyway. That took Val to Laythe. Oh, not Laythe, sorry. Elu. Okay, let's link. Ping. And the spice... Oh, sorry, the fuel is flowing, I hope. Okay, Bill, pump it up. Screenshot. Now, where were we? Carborundrum, yeah. Transfer everything out of this one and out of this one, and that should hopefully completely fill the tanks on our SSTO, giving it a very healthy amount of delta V. So we lock these tanks, and we need to unlink it. I think only when you take a Kerbal you can actually appreciate the full scale and the size of these ships. Oh, and hold on. Inventory, can I take this one? I would like to unscrew this port, because during the test I saw that it was, supersonic, and when we go supersonic it actually doesn't stow away with the gear, so it creates a mini bug. Not game breaking, but I was thinking to just disassemble the part. Oh! Whoa! What? Bill! Bill! You know, this is a graphics glitch. I refuse to accept this.